The needs of our growing civilization, together with the demand for necessary minerals vital to the nation's economy, created a problem that open pit mining solved. Open pit mining exposes low-grade ores that otherwise would be unprofitable or unminable by other methods. Today's open pit mining is complex, highly mechanized, highly productive, and it can be dangerous. Miners are dwarfed by their environment. The mechanization development has produced massive equipment with attendant safety problems that often are not foreseen. The operations of drilling, blasting, and loading. Transportation introduces specific hazards, and when combined with inclement weather conditions, they become even more dangerous. Age 32, ex-Marine and recent bridegroom, was soon to become another victim of a front-end loader accident. As he started down the grade, all the controls were operational. He had placed the loader in low gear, but still gained excessive speed, which he controlled by braking. Then the brakes began to fail, and steering became more difficult. Safety engineer requested the assistance of the supervisory officials to complete a safety analysis of the operating practices. Several recent occurrences, including the accident involving Don Kovash, indicated that some reevaluation of equipment use or redesign of equipment is necessary. Don's accident was caused by equipment failure only to the extent that the loader was not suited for distance tramming down steep grades. The brake design should be improved to assure positive braking action whenever air pressure falls below safe operating levels. It is also recommended that with abnormal grades and during inclement weather, the loader be transported by truck to the place of operation. Another area discussed that also required serious study was drilling practices. It involved an accident that was classed as careless tool handling, although it occurred during drilling operations. To replace the rotary head on this drill, the drill stem was raised from the hole. A 36-inch pipe wrench was then placed on the head and butted against the guide bar of the drill mast. By reversing rotation of drill stem, torque was applied to the drill stem through the wrench to loosen the rotary head. Suddenly, tension was released and the pipe wrench backlashed. To prevent such accidents, the following changes were suggested. First, eliminate the pipe wrench. Second, redesign the adapter to accept a positive grip tool. Third, establish proper drilling procedures and instruct drill operators concerning them. These are two new accident statistics. They are Larry Kerr, driller, husband, father, and avid hunter. And Bud Wolper, also a husband, father, and fisherman. Wolper, our blasting foreman, has just suffered his first injury in over 20 years as an explosives expert. Larry asks him, "What happened to you?" It's the same old story. Lack of organization and planning. Wolper was supervising and preparing explosive charges that also involved blasting a number of boulders. The deep bench holes were loaded first, and the men were preparing the detonating cord and trunk line. Some of the boulders were drilled for block hole blasting, but others, because they were less accessible to drill, were mud-capped. Explosive charges and detonating cord had been placed on the undrilled boulders, but more detonating fuse and detonators were needed. So Mr. Wolper went back to the truck for more. Adequate safeguards should be provided on vehicles used for transporting explosives. When returning to the blasting area, he was caught by a premature detonation. What happened shouldn't have happened. Mud capping is dangerous. Company safety rules warn against it, yet men continually do it. The following recommendations were made. 1. Banks and high walls should be properly trimmed and sloped before men are permitted to work in the area. 2. The The practice of mud capping should be discontinued. Instead, all boulders should be block-holed before blasting. These are but two examples of danger in open pit mining in which men were injured. Let us take a hard look at the many other potential hazardous conditions and situations that can and do exist. High walls should be adequately sloped. This wall is too high to be safely scaled. The top of high walls should be inspected for cracks that indicate hazards. Otherwise, when men and machines work too close to an unsafe wall, this could occur. Men working near machines should always be in the operator's line of sight. A common cause of accidents in open pit mining is one involving moving machinery. Some workmen seem to be of the opinion that moving parts of large equipment must be lubricated while the machine is in operation. Concentrating upon the job they are doing, they overlook the hazards of moving parts and are sometimes knocked down or crushed between the parts. Far too many lives have been lost and far too many injuries have been caused by workmen repairing or lubricating moving machinery. The only safe way to repair or lubricate machinery is to do it when the machine is at a standstill. The transport of material has its own particular hazards. The use of automotive equipment no doubt played a part in the increase of these hazards. Investigation of the causes of these accidents reveals that in some, workmen other than the drivers were injured. Many times, haulage trucks have gone over the embankment because neither stop blocks nor berm were provided. Adequate lighting during darkness is another measure that can prevent dumping operation accidents. Some conditions may also warrant the use of a spotter. Speeding with heavy trucks may appear to save time, but never lives. Belt conveyor systems, while highly efficient, are equally hazardous when safety is not practiced. This worker is taking needless risks, for such work should be done with the belt stationary. Also, the pinch points should be adequately guarded. Numerous accidents occur to personnel working around railroad cars. How many times have you crossed over or between railroad cars? Have you ever ridden on the top or on the side of a car where the clearance is inadequate? Safety in open pit mining must be a full-time effort practiced by all employees. Hazards are as many and varied as the equipment being used. This equipment is only as safe as local physical conditions, as safe as its maintenance, and as safe as the alertness of the operators to protect themselves and fellow employees. Safety is self-protection, so that one can enjoy the comforts of his home and the pleasures of life. Don Kovash, Bud Wolper, and Larry Kerr now know the value of safety and what it means to them and their families.